Hello, comic book community. Lombox Love Affair here. I'm going to do a collection spotlight of all of my Savage Dragon books, 1 through 247, which I think is current. Now, these books, I posted all of them on eBay, and I'm not trying to be blatantly advertising, but this is the last time that this collection will be in place. Now, some of the lots, I've done them in groups of 25 or so on eBay, and some of them have bids already. The bids end tomorrow, which is Sunday, April 12th. But I wanted to document this series because I love this series. I just felt like it was time to make some room in the collection. I love Eric Larson's books. I'm keeping a couple of them that I had doubles of, some variants, but in general, I am moving all of these. So if you are interested and catch this video in the first couple days, then I would recommend checking out eBay, Lombox Love Affair, search the user. And I am the only one, it looks like right now, that has any sets of Savage Dragon. And they're all in excellent condition. So I'm just going to go through. These were from 1992, I believe. Eric Larson left Spider-Man, he left Marvel, and formed Image Comics, and did the 3-issue miniseries of Savage Dragon. And something I've learned recently, and those are the first 3, is that this book had several different shadings around or colors to the logo. So there are some variants. I'm not sure if they're evenly distributed or not, but it is something to check out. There are some color variants to that. So that's the first series. Later on, back maybe 10 or so years ago, he did the origin of Savage Dragon in the Image Zero. Was that Image Zero? Actually, no, it was the hardcover that Image put together, not Image Zero. And so they all did original stories, all the original founders. That's not here, but this is the reprinted from that trade paperback, that hardcover edition. So Savage Dragon Zero is the origin, where it shows him as a bad guy. Spoiler alert. And his race wiped out his memory, and he became the Savage Dragon. So this issue ends where this one begins, the first issue. So this is the origin, but printed much later. Savage Dragon Half. This is an a Wizard Guide to Comics magazine. I used to love Wizard. I'm super bummed that no longer exists. Used to not be able to, couldn't wait until each month when Wizard would come out and put articles and top 10 lists and price guides. It was the thing to do at the time, but media has changed these days. And so Savage Dragon won the ongoing series. He's got a mustache now. That didn't last too long, but, classic run. He brought in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Had this Freak Demon character. He had some amazing characters. So this is Freak Force. I don't know if this is the first appearance of Freak Force, but it was his spin-off title that Eric Larson put together. Overlord, one of the classic villains of Dragon's time, that just keeps on coming back on and off. It's more so a costume that people have inhabited over time. His storytelling has been always pretty violent and bloody. This issue, this character has never resurfaced, but apparently he had a contest issues earlier for having a reader design a character, and so this is the design of that particular character. So his characters were always pretty gory, and pretty graphic. So She-Dragon, I don't know if this is her first appearance, but it might be. And then as time went on, especially in the recent past years, his books have become uber sexualized. I don't know if anyone has been reading, and that's something that really surprised me. He really turned a corner and started to do that with his characters. Going back to issue 13, there is a Jim Lee variant to this issue. I'll come and talk about that when I get to the variant section. So very few variants did he do, but there are some out there. 16. This has a second cover that is further down the line as well. That's of She-Dragon and another character. I think it's Rapture. So that's issue 17. his head on a platter, basically. I love this cover because it takes the logo and puts him up in it, and there's a whole bunch of empty space there. Versus Overlord. More of that saga. More turtles. He was fascinated with the turtles, I guess. Rapture versus She-Dragon. Mako, that character. Double-sized 25th issue. He was always good about the anniversary issues. All of them had huge page numbers, lots going on there. This one has 2 covers. It has Rapture asking if we marry her, and then Dragon has a cover with his reaction. There's also a bit of crossovers with Image, so the Max, Sam Keith's The Max. We got Wildstar, Jerry Ordway, McFarlane's Spawn. Love this book. This is God versus the Devil, and this is the God is good variant, which means when he tells God to F himself, he censors it in this book, but there's a variant where he does not censor it. And so this is him coming back from the realm of heaven and hell. I guess this is the birth of a child. I can't remember. These were awesome stories. Hellboy. Some more Hellboy in there. And then the characters just get crazy. This one's eyes connect to the other, so they're sort of symbiotic together. Another main villain at the time. This character was crazy. It took me a second to realize what he was doing. This character is called Dung, I think, and dredges up all that's in the sewers. Crazy, crazy. Some more goodness going on there. I think this is, Overlord? No. Can't remember, but this was a major character for many, many issues. Pivotal there. But I'm just going to kind of flip through these. You got Hercules. More She-Dragon. These have all been, collected over time. I think I found some lots on eBay when I was recollecting. Here's issue 50. A double-sized issue there. Most of the villains and main characters. Savage She-Dragon, number 51. He starts to get scantily clad there. 52. That's a crazy one. 54. Let me know if you, in the comments, if you collect Savage Dragon, or if you ever read them, what you think. I was always a fan. It was always a good read, craziness going on. So part of me, regrets selling this a bit, but I just haven't gone back to reread these. And if I really want to, I'll buy trades, but I just want to, make some room, pass on the love to whoever else is into it. There he goes. One day I will be able to meet Eric Larson. I know he doesn't do a whole lot of cons. Been itching for a sketch of his, itching to get some Spider-Man of his signed. I'm saving a couple of these issues to get signed by him in the future. Just because some of the art is killer. And I probably would get signed ones that, A, may be typical, but B, I also like finding ones that I just love the covers. I figure if I come across any of the covers that I love in a dollar bin, I would pick them up again. 75. Now this one, he kills this character. Sorry, spoiler alert. And sets off a whole new direction, which was really kind of crazy. And this is when I started collecting again. I had dropped for a while, so Savage Dragon 76. The world is completely changed, and he goes to try to right the wrongs. Savage World, I think they called it. It's a long run. There's over almost 250 issues right now. I wonder how the shutdown is going to affect him producing the final 3 issues up until issue 250, which is his next milestone. Yep, I got those. Some more Madman, Mighty Man, he's taken some characters that have been obscure or like our old classic characters from, I don't know, the Golden Age or so, and brought them into his fold. Can't think of their names at the moment. 91, 92, we're coming up on the anniversary issue, which means it's going to be completely different. He's been consistently producing this issue over time. Dragon versus Dragon. And then the super cool issue 100. 100-page issue, changes back to the real world. Malcolm. This, I think, is the first Invincible. There's a preview in the back. So that's a key issue there. There's a bunch of keys in here of the type of things he hides in his books, the new characters, low print runs, and previews of upcoming image series that have taken off. He's very creator focused. Very cartoony Angel, the way she's drawn, super hilarious. Now she's turned into a bit of a threesome maniac. I love this cover. 111. The yellow's in that cover. Dart and Mako. His villains were super cool. So, more so making this video to document, double size, anniversary issue, I assume. Making this video to document these covers and to keep it in my repository here to look back at some point. I started to do that and be like, oh, I had those books. He got into politics, notoriously. Bush. Romney? No, that's not Romney. Shit. Forget the Democrat running mate there. John Kerry. I did Iraq. Another cool white cover there. This cover designed to look all worn down. This is a fun cover because if I remember correctly, he's all bandaged up and in status and not able to move, so the fly is bothering them. Mr. Glum takes over and makes the world his own. That was a fun storyline. This is the Wanted J.G. Jones variant cover. Crazy character, this alien that has her children on umbilical cord still attached to her. I mean, this is just, I guess you can make this stuff up. I was gonna say you can't make this stuff up. And he goes on these overarching stories looking for his wife. Is she dead? Is she not? Who killed her? So it's nice there's some through line there. Moving on. Madman. Godland. You got some Invincible going on. I'm a fan of that series. Basically, get some, all the Image Universe folks. That's a cool cover. Yeah, if you haven't read these books, so there's Obama. If you haven't read these books, I do recommend. It's just a fun read. It's kind of mindless. And this was a free comic book day edition. So this is when the coloring starts to kind of become really modern. I do love this book. Which one is this? 150. He's a police officer in Chicago. This is another cover favorite of mine. Just the alien virus, I think, that took over. Oh, Image United Prelude. We saw how that finished, or did not finish, I should say. Savage Dragon also has this blood that if you, it has healing properties, I guess you could say. Nice homage to the first issue. I love that. If you try to do a transfusion with this, it usually makes you explode. Pretty crazy. That's an old classic Daredevil character before Marvel's Daredevil. Emperor Dragon, because he was an emperor before. And I think when he was healed at one point, his original persona took over, which was the evil emperor. And so he started to try to take over the world. It's a good storyline. Oof. It hurts my back. But yeah, definitely some good isolation, quarantine reading here. Mr. Glum in the super suit there. Dragon in his race. 176. 177. You got some Osama bin Laden action going on. He's not shy about tackling some of the controversial topics out there. Kind of appreciate him for that. Pushing the envelope. 183. You see, this character has been like since day one. Overlord. On trial. This is a cool cover. I didn't like it at first. The more I thought about it, it's like, well, it's very sketchy. And the sketch is very much like a courtroom reporter. Old school cover. Is this a verdict, maybe? Or Dragon in jail, at least. Be sentenced to die. Can't remember what they did with that. New Direction issue, 193. And a lot of these now are low print runs. He's got a new girlfriend. Turns into a wife. I love this issue. Maxine. And that storyline, that character is just crazy. 200. Just more of Malcolm's adventures. They do move to Canada. It's kind of, what issue was that I left off on? Can't remember which one I left off on. They moved to Canada, so he graduates. So it does get a little interesting there. She's pregnant. Oops. Not just pregnant with one, but how many kids? I think 3 or 4. Gives birth. 215. This character Ant, not from Image. Spawn crossover, Ant crossover. 218. Mr. Glum on trial for ruining the world. 220, 221, 222, 224, 225, another oversized issue. Got some Trump. 227, they moved to Toronto. Whole new set of characters now. They do a reality star. Or they do a reality show, I should say. They're having, like, sex every issue. Sex dolls are a character. Oops. 231 now. Where's this 232 now? Lost my place, sorry. 232. 233. Bold is beautiful. 234. 35. 6, 237, 238, 239, 240. Captain Tootsie. This character is crazy. It's like a Superman with a bird head. Purdue. 6 and 227. Ooh. Now the books, let me show you these. This is the 4th print. Buddy did a whole Obama series. This was the issue I was talking about earlier. Jim Lee did, so Image did a whole month worth of creators changing their books. And so Jim Lee took over Savage Dragon. Eric Larson didn't like what he did with him because Jim Lee really made it a Wildcats issue. So he redid issue 13, and that's in the run that I showed, to be more what he wanted to do. This is that variant to issue number 17. So this is a Matsudo variant cover to issue 25. This is a Mirage crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did a DC Comics Alex Ross cover. Amazing. All those that you just saw are on eBay along with the sets. And then I figured I would keep the newsstand edition. I'd keep the Savage Dragon Jock variant cover, 223. I have another half issue. And then there's a free comic book day issue. And this was just, these were some extras that I had. This is the uncensored F-God book. And then just some other doubles that I've had. 231, no, I already showed you that one. So that's the Savage Dragon set. So it will be no longer after a bit. So if you're interested, go forth and put it out there. But I just wanted to put it out there for posterity to show the whole run. I don't think anyone really talks about Savage Dragon on YouTube. So hope you enjoyed it. And let me know if you're a fan. All right, take care.